There is a law in the unseen that moves faster than any transaction in the physical. It is the law of belief, and belief is not some passive, wishful thought. It is a magnetic force. It is the declaration of the soul that says, I expect the impossible. When you believe, truly believe, with every fiber of your being, that divine provision is not just possible, but promised, you begin to attract it. It's not superstition, it's not guesswork, it's spiritual law. Faith is currency, and when you spend it boldly, heaven responds like a banker honoring your account with an unexpected wire transfer of provision. People don't realize how powerful their inner posture is. You cannot carry a spirit of scarcity and expect to harvest abundance. You must believe that money, favor, increase, and opportunity can and will show up in your life from unexpected places. Belief rewires your atmosphere. Belief changes the language of your surroundings. It changes the way people treat you, the way rooms respond to you, and the way doors open before you even knock. That's not arrogance, that's alignment with divine law. There are spiritual principles at work that don't ask your permission. They operate whether you recognize them or not. You are either attracting or repelling increase by the frequency of your belief. And when you start believing that unexpected funds, resources you didn't plan for, answers you didn't earn by toil are already en route to you, everything shifts. That expectation becomes a magnet. It sends out a signal, not to the economy, not to Wall Street, but to the source itself. And that source never runs dry. Some people limit God to a paycheck. They say, if I don't work extra hours, I can't receive more. But what if the increase isn't tied to your labor, but to your level of belief? That doesn't mean don't work. Work is honorable, but don't chain your increase to the clock. When your belief expands, your capacity to receive expands. Suddenly, you get a call from someone who owed you and just remembered. Suddenly, a refund appears that was already being processed before you asked. Suddenly, the very thing you thought was delayed comes ahead of schedule. That's not random, that's the reward of belief. You don't need to see how it's going to happen. The power isn't in the logistics, it's in the leaning. Lean not on your own understanding. That's not just a scripture, it's a strategy. Your understanding will talk you out of blessings. Your logic will try to shrink the miraculous into something predictable. But divine provision doesn't travel through predictable paths. It finds the open soul, the willing heart, the unwavering believer. If you believe it's possible, it will come find you, and not just trickle in, it will overtake you. This is where many fall short. They believe with their mouth, but not with their spirit. They speak positive words, but their internal conversation is still dominated by fear. That double-mindedness cancels the magnet. You can't say, I believe, and then go worry in silence. You can't pray for a breakthrough and then plan for a breakdown. You must carry a singularity of belief, one message, one expectation, one focus. When your belief is unwavering, it becomes a homing beacon for the resources that already exist in the unseen. God's economy is not tied to inflation or recession. It's tied to revelation, and the revelation is this: you are not at the mercy of your bank account. You are not limited to what you can produce with your own hands. You have access to provision that is above the system, beyond the forecast, and outside the grasp of any limitation. But that access is unlocked through belief. Your belief is not passive, it's a force. It does not beg, it declares. It does not wait, it calls things that be not as though they were. When you begin to believe that unexpected funds are locating you, the funds begin to shift. The resources begin to reroute. The divine timing begins to accelerate, And you won't have to chase it, it will come looking for you. Not because you manipulated it, but because you magnetized it. That's the power of belief. That's the weight of expectation. That's the law of divine provision in motion. Your mind is the soil of your future. Whatever you plant there, whether thoughts of abundance or thoughts of lack, will surely grow. Most people unknowingly operate under the influence of mental poverty. They don't see themselves as poor, but their thoughts betray them. They worry about bills before they come. They say things like, "I can't afford that," or "that's too much for me." These are not just harmless words. These are declarations of limitation that reinforce a belief system of lack, and a mind rooted in lack can't produce a harvest of overflow. If you want to attract divine provision, you must discipline your thoughts like you would guard your most valuable possession. Because your thoughts are valuable, they are spiritual currency. They shape the frequency you operate on. If your thoughts are tuned to scarcity, you will draw in just enough, or sometimes not enough. But when your thoughts align with abundance, heaven recognizes the signal and responds in kind. The mind is not just a battleground, it is a blueprint. It sets the stage for what your spirit is allowed to receive. Everything begins with thought, not money, not movement, thought, and when you think in terms of more than enough, you make space for more than enough to enter your life. Abundance is not arrogance. It's not greed. It's the acceptance of a divine truth that you are not meant to scrape by, you are meant to overflow, that your source is not your job, your connections, or your background. It is something far higher. But it cannot pour into a vessel that is blocked by limiting thoughts. Look at how often people sabotage their own breakthrough because they can't see themselves living in abundance. They disqualify themselves mentally. They say things like, "That's for other people," "I don't come from money," or "I've never had good luck." These thoughts become chains, invisible ones, chains that bind the hands of blessings trying to find them. But the moment you shift your thinking, you break those chains, and when your mind opens, your life does too. Ideas flow, people appear, doors unlock, not because they just started existing, but because your new frequency made them visible. Lack is loud. It shouts in your ears, especially when you're close to breakthrough. It tells you there's not enough, that you won't make it, that you'll always struggle. But you have the authority to silence that voice. You don't negotiate with lack. You override it. You replace it. You speak abundance back to it until it flees. And that begins with how you think. Because the truth is, lack is not the absence of money. It's the absence of belief in the provision that's already yours. You must learn to think beyond your paycheck, beyond your current situation, beyond what your bank account says today. You must begin to forecast abundance with your thoughts. See yourself as already funded, already favored, already flowing in more than enough, because your thoughts are prophetic. They go ahead of you and create the lane for what's coming. When your thoughts dwell in abundance, your actions follow. Your speech follows, your expectations rise. You stop looking at every closed door with fear, and you start seeing new doors forming out of nowhere. This is not about delusion. It's about divine alignment. You are aligning your thoughts with heaven's supply, not earth's limitation. You are stepping into a mindset where miracles are normal and provision is expected. Not earned, not deserved, expected. Because you are a child of the source, and the source doesn't ration. But you must be prepared to hold that truth in your mind, even when everything around you looks opposite. That's where the power is, in holding the vision of abundance in a season that looks like lack. When you think abundance, you stop competing, you stop comparing, you stop panicking, You realize there's enough for everyone and more than enough for you. That mindset will keep you calm in chaos. It will keep you generous when others are hoarding. It will keep you joyful when others are fearful, and that's when unexpected funds begin to locate you, not just because you need them, but because your mind has become a match for them. You've created a mental atmosphere where blessings don't feel foreign, they feel at home. The shift happens when you stop begging for scraps and start thinking like a distributor of overflow. You're not here just to receive, you're here to channel, to multiply, to bless others through what finds you. But first, your thoughts must be large enough to contain what heaven wants to send. Think abundance, speak it, dwell in it internally, because the mind that hosts abundance will never be empty externally. Your mouth is not just a tool for communication. It is a divine instrument of creation. What you say shapes what you see. Every word that leaves your lips carries the weight of prophecy, whether you realize it or not. Most people are unaware of the power they unleash when they speak. They talk struggle, and struggle shows up. They talk delay, and delay camps in their lives. But the ones who understand the law of declaration know that their words can call prosperity into existence, even in the middle of drought. You cannot afford casual speech when you're expecting supernatural supply. There is no such thing as just talking when you're working with a God who listens to your voice and responds to your faith. When you speak, you release either permission or resistance into your atmosphere. If you declare that money always escapes you, it will. If you say opportunities never find you, they won't. But when you begin to speak prosperity as if it's already yours, you shift the atmosphere around you and open a portal for provision to find its way in. Don't wait until your life looks abundant to speak abundance. Speak it now, especially now, in the tight moments, in the uncertain seasons, when the bills are due and the numbers don't add up. That's when your words matter most. Your voice must rise above your circumstance. Your mouth must contradict the noise of fear, lack, and limitation. Because your situation may not respond to silence, but it must respond to speech. Faith comes by hearing, but so does doubt. Speak the language of increase until your ears believe it, until your mind aligns with it, until your atmosphere bends to it. There is creative force in your tongue. You were never meant to be a passive observer of your life. You are a co-creator with the divine, and creation doesn't start with a bank transaction. It starts with a word, let there be light, let there be more than enough, let provision flow, let new opportunities arise. Let divine connections locate me. Say it with power. Say it until it becomes the dominant sound in your space. Say it until heaven has no choice but to echo it back to you in manifestation. Many people sabotage their harvest with their mouth. They pray one thing and then speak the opposite 5 minutes later. They declare provision in the morning and curse their finances by lunch. That double speech creates spiritual static. It confuses your atmosphere. If you want consistency in your blessings, there must be consistency in your language. You must speak as though the promise is already fulfilled. Your voice must match your vision. Even if your reality is catching up, your words must stay in alignment with where you're going, not where you are. This is not pretending, this is positioning. This is you refusing to let your present lack dictate your future language. Speak as the person who has already received. Talk from the place of overflow. Let the words that come out of your mouth sound like victory, even while the storm is still swirling, because your words are not weak. They are weighty, they travel, they plant seeds, they open doors. They signal to the unseen realm that you are ready to receive, and more importantly, worthy to receive. Make it your habit to speak prosperity over every area of your life. Bless your finances out loud. Bless your business. Bless your bank account, your wallet, your email inbox. Speak to things that haven't moved in years and tell them it's time to open. Speak to debts and tell them they are canceled. Speak to opportunities and tell them to locate you now. Speak to favor and tell it to follow you wherever you go. Your words give license for these things to manifest. Don't let another day pass where your mouth is silent on the matters that matter most. There is power in repetition. Don't just speak prosperity once. Make it a rhythm, a lifestyle, a spiritual discipline. Set the tone of your day by what you say. Don't wait for the news, the market, or someone else's mood to dictate your outlook. You are the architect of your atmosphere. Fill your space with the sound of victory. Fill your room with the sound of wealth, favor, overflow, and ease. Keep speaking it until your environment gets in line. Keep speaking it until the walls remember it. Keep speaking it until the windows of heaven open in response. When you speak prosperity, you don't just change your language, you change your access. Words make room. They stretch the container. They invite the supernatural. You don't need to know how it will happen. You just need to speak as if it's already in motion. Because the moment your voice agrees with divine abundance, the atmosphere begins to obey. There are streams of provision assigned to your name that your eyes have not yet seen. You may be looking in one direction, expecting your blessing to come the way it always has, but divine supply rarely travels through predictable roads. The channels that are about to bless you are not coming from the usual places. They are unexpected, unusual, unfamiliar, but they are on time and they are on assignment. You don't have to chase them. They are already looking for you. This is where many people miss the move of God. They limit their expectation to familiar paths. They think it has to come from their job, their salary, a contract, a known client, or a loan. But heaven is not bound by your limited network or what you think is possible. Divine resources can be rerouted at any moment, from places you never applied, from people you've never met, from systems you didn't even know existed. But your job is not to predict the channel. Your job is to stay open to receive, no matter where it comes from. Unexpected doesn't mean random. It means hidden from view until appointed by timing. It means prepared behind the scenes, waiting for your faith to match its release. There are checks with your name on them. Phone calls being stirred in someone's heart to make, refunds being processed, opportunities being spoken in rooms you've never stepped into. A divine delivery system is already moving, but if your eyes are only on the obvious, you'll miss the miracle that's walking through the side door. You've got to train yourself to stop asking how and start saying yes. That's the posture of supernatural living. The how belongs to God, the yes belongs to you. And when you begin to truly believe that provision can come from anywhere at any time, you become a magnet for surprises. Unexpected channels don't need your resume, they need your readiness. They respond to the energy of expectation. They move in the direction of faith, not fear. God can use anyone to bless you. He can use a stranger, an enemy, a system, even something that once rejected you. What once said no can suddenly say yes. What was closed can burst wide open, simply because you dared to believe. You might get a call from someone who forgot you existed, until something in their spirit reminded them. You might find that a mistake in your favor wasn't a mistake at all. It was a divine redirection. That's how unexpected channels work. They show up with no warning but perfect accuracy. Stop putting pressure on people to be your source. People are not your source. They are merely vessels. The real source is above, and it knows exactly how to navigate the blessing through the right hands at the right time. You may have lost one stream, but the source has unlimited outlets. One dry well doesn't mean the water's gone. It just means it's flowing somewhere else. And often, it's flowing in your direction. But if you're too focused on the door that closed, you'll miss the window that just opened. Unexpected channels can look like inconvenience. They can look like interruption. They don't always feel comfortable or come in the packaging you imagined. That's why you must discern with your spirit, not your senses. What looks small may be the gateway to something massive. What looks delayed may be precisely timed. What looks unqualified may be divinely chosen. Do not despise the delivery system just because it doesn't fit your preference. Position yourself to receive in ways you've never received before. Say aloud, I am open to being blessed from directions I did not anticipate. Make that your prayer, your affirmation, your mindset, because when you stop boxing God into your methods, He starts blowing your mind with His miracles. Provision is not coming the way it came last time. It's coming a new way, and it will catch you off guard, the best way. This is the season where things will show up and you'll say, I don't know how that happened, but I know who did it. You won't have to hustle for it, manipulate for it, or beg for it. You will simply receive it. Unexpected channels are not a backup plan. They are a sign that you are moving from survival to supernatural, from logic to overflow, from routine to revelation. Keep your spirit alert, because what you're praying for is already traveling through a channel that's about to surprise you. The overflow doesn't come to the one who is waiting casually. It comes to the one who is prepared. Before the blessing ever shows up, the environment must be made ready. If you truly believe that increase is locating you, then your actions must start speaking that belief. Faith is not just in your words, it's in your preparation, it's in your posture, it's in the way you make room for what hasn't even arrived yet. If you're expecting overflow, then your life needs to look like a vessel ready to receive more than enough. People pray for abundance but live like they expect barely enough. They say they want opportunity, but they haven't created space for opportunity to land. They declare that provision is coming, but their habits are still reflecting a survival mindset. Overflow requires order. Overflow requires capacity. You cannot carry supernatural increase with natural clutter, mental, emotional, or physical. Before the flood comes, you build the ark, you make room, you clear space, you act as if it's already on the way. Look at your life right now. Are you structured for overflow or are you managing crumbs? The systems you build in times of quiet will determine how much can be trusted to you in times of increase. If funds were to double overnight, would you have the discipline to steward them, or would they disappear through unprepared hands? If opportunity knocked today, would your environment be a welcome mat or a mess? Don't wait for overflow to fix what should have been prepared during the drought. This is not about pretending you have more, it's about positioning your life for more. Set the table before the guests arrive. Don't wait until the miracle is in motion to get serious about your mindset, your stewardship, your alignment. Clean out what no longer fits where you're going. Get rid of habits that drain you. Silence voices that speak limitation. Every act of preparation is a sign to the heavens, I'm ready for more, and heaven always honors readiness. Preparation is not passive, it's a prophetic act. It is saying to God and to the atmosphere, I believe so deeply in what's coming that I'm living like it's already here. That kind of preparation draws provision with force. It triggers movement in the unseen. It accelerates timelines, because when God sees a ready vessel, He wastes no time. Delay is often a matter of unreadiness, not unwillingness from above. Get ready and watch how quickly overflow finds its way to you. Set your life in alignment with what you've been praying for. Organize your finances as if the funds are already flowing. Structure your time as if opportunities are already on your calendar. Build the foundation even if the building hasn't been funded yet. Preparation invites acceleration. It signals maturity. It tells the blessing, you're not just wanted here, you're welcome here. And blessings gravitate toward places they feel welcomed, not merely wished for. Too many people ask for overflow but still manage their lives in survival mode. They keep emergency mindsets, lack-driven schedules, and scarcity-based decisions. But you can't carry abundance in a container designed for just enough. Stretch your faith practically. Create new streams, start the project, open the account, make the call, take the course. Don't wait for the flood to learn how to swim. Build the infrastructure now. The overflow will not wait forever for you to get ready. God moves fast when you move in faith. The preparation you make now will be the reason you don't panic later. There's a difference between surprise and unpreparedness. You may not know exactly when or how it's coming, but your preparation says, whenever it comes, I'm ready. That is the difference between missed moments and multiplied miracles. The opportunity doesn't always knock twice, and the overflow doesn't wait for you to catch up. It lands where it's honored, not where it's only hoped for. Preparation is not glamorous, but it is powerful. It is often done in silence, away from applause. But what you prepare for in the dark will be rewarded in the light. Heaven sees the unseen things, the quiet sacrifices, the disciplined choices, the clearing out, the getting in position, and when the floodgates open, the ones who prepared will not be scrambling, they will be receiving.